From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Diane Parker. Miller has our weekend forecast, plus Montana's approach to prosecuting drug offenders is being celebrated at the national level. But first, our top story. You could be eligible for more tax rebate money from the state of Montana. Earlier this year, lawmakers dedicated millions in surplus money to give back to residents. People filing individually will get up to $1,250. $2,500 goes to joint filers. The bill passed on the last day of the legislative session, and some last-minute changes were made. The bill now provides another $100 million to fund additional property tax rebates, up to $350 more per recipient over 2 years. The governor has not signed it yet, but the Department of Revenue already has plans in place to start distributing the money in July. Lawmakers from Montana and Wyoming are joining a bipartisan effort to preserve federal student aid access for farm and ranch families. The Department of Education plans to institute a rule this December requiring farmers to include land and equipment as income. If it moves forward, many farm kids would no longer qualify for FAFSA. Currently, FAFSA eligibility is based on income alone. Montana Senator John Tester and Wyoming's Cynthia Lummis want it to stay that way.
We've got a piece of legislation that will stop the Department of Education from denying the fact that we've got a lot of kids out there that are eligible for financial aid if you use income numbers.
For most farmers and ranchers, the education is so important to their families that they'd put their farm at risk.
And Walter Schweitzer, president of the Montana Farmers Union, says if the legislation doesn't pass, many farmers could consider putting their farms up as collateral in order to pay for their kids' college education. The husband of a Belgrade woman who died after eating at Dave's Sushi in Bozeman has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. It is the latest news in what health officials call a foodborne illness outbreak linked to the popular downtown restaurant that began last month. On April 17th, the Gallatin County City Health Department was alerted that people were getting sick after eating at Dave's. April 18th, the health department conducted an inspection of the restaurant and found 4 violations. That morning, we later learned the first death occurred, 74-year-old William Lewis. April 21st, Dave's released a statement citing the possibility that morel mushrooms served in the special roll may be responsible. April 29th, the second person, Donna Ventura, died. May 3rd, a press release from the health department linked 30 illnesses and 2 deaths to Dave's. Dave's owner, Aaron Parker, says he plans to reopen the restaurant after the health department's investigation is final. The lawsuit filed Tuesday in Gallatin County states that Donna Ventura had eaten the special roll containing morel mushrooms for lunch April 17th. She became sick about an hour later and was rushed to Bozeman Deaconess Hospital. According to the complaint, Ventura suffered from cardiac arrest and multiple organ failure. She died April 29th. Hysham residents are still unable to use the city drinking water more than a week after a do not consume order took effect. Right now, leaders can't provide a timetable for when issues at that water plant will be fixed, but it's already impacting one business's bottom line. The health department says Hysham's only restaurant, the BW Grill and Bar, must close until water is safe to use again. The owner says if that day doesn't come soon, he'll likely be forced to close.
I worked hard for this. If I walk away from this, it's probably 200 grand that I walk away from. When I had the health inspector ask me, well, can we just use paper plates? And I said, well, yeah, we can, but I still have cutting boards and I still have, meal prep. I can carry this business 2 months. I can't carry it through the summer, and I will probably lose it.
Last week, Hysham's mayor told us the water plant was waiting for parts to fix a filtration system that went offline earlier this month. We all know about Montana's unpredictable weather. One minute it's sunny out there, the next it's raining. Well, yesterday we showed you another wild weather event, a funnel cloud in the Mission Valley. Dark thunder clouds covered the Mission Mountains and soon a swirling funnel dropped down from the sky. It is now the talk of the town on social media, where photos and videos have been circulating nonstop, just like these. Viewers have told us a very heavy rain hit the valley after the funnel cloud appeared. We, of course, wanted to hear all of this firsthand. MTN's Emily Brown went to the St. Ignatius Old Timer Cafe to hear more.
Yesterday, we went to our granddaughter's baseball game up in Ronan, and I got out of the truck and walked around the truck, and I saw people with their cameras up, so I stopped to look to see what they were looking at, and I saw the funnel cloud coming down towards St. Ignatius, and immediately jumped back in and get my husband and my son. You guys got to look at this. Come look at this. And pretty soon everybody's out, with their cameras, recording and taking pictures.
And that's a look at some of the day's top stories.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Miller Robson.
Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Hang on, we're getting closer and closer to the weekend. We got a lot of rain in some spots across Montana and down in Wyoming. We'll show you that with the local forecast. But what is going on across the U.S. today? Your headlines: northeastern Texas, lower Mississippi Valley, heavy rain and instances of flash flooding likely today. Central and northern plains, severe storms and heavy rainfall the next couple of days. And you'll see right there in the heartland that brown shaded area, that is an enhanced risk of severe weather. Likely to see some tornado activity there, so keep your fingers crossed and say a little prayer for those folks there. Could get kind of nasty today. West Coast, early taste of summer heat by this weekend. Here across the state, northern parts of Wyoming, several pulses of energy dropping some rain on us. Let's talk about that coming up.
Mariah Gladstone, CEO of the popular online cooking show In DigiKitchen, stopped by Radley Elementary School in Helena Wednesday to give students a taste of plants that grow right here in the Treasure State. MTN's Ryan Berg has the story.
Mariah Gladstone, a Blackfeet and Cherokee woman from Babb, is the CEO of In DigiKitchen, an online cooking show dedicated to returning traditional foods indigenous to the Americas. Gladstone uses a digital platform to post recipes that use commonly found plants to reconnect Americans to their landscapes through cooking, which was why she was visiting Radley Elementary School on Wednesday.
I was excited to work with the kids today here in East Helena because it was partially about teaching them about everyday plants that they've all seen growing in their yards, on hikes, and teach them about the uses besides just teas, also medicinally, also for seasonings in their kitchen cabinets.
Gladstone provided a presentation to students on common plants found around Montana that could be used in their everyday lives. After that, she had students create their own custom tea bags from the plants in the presentation.
I think that having that connection to landscape gives kids and everybody a real sense of place. They can see themselves as part of those ecosystems when they realize that ecosystems and food systems are all connected.
Growing up around Helena, Gladstone knows what plants could be easily found and how they could be used, and she wanted to pass that knowledge on to the young students at Radley.
I went to Helena Middle School, Helena High School, so it's really fun to be able to be back on this landscape. I grew up hiking Mount Helena and exploring these hills, and I know the plants here, and it's so much fun to be able to share that information because it helps kids really recognize all of the gifts that the earth is sharing with them and how they can use those things.
Reporting in East Helena, Ryan Berg, MTN News.